Now we have seen the norma verticalis here. Now we'll see the posterior view of the skull, that is known as the norma occipitalis, because there is the main bone of the skull, that is the occipital bone, is present posterior to that. Okay, so we'll see that. Fine. Now you can see, visualize what is the structure forming the norma occipitalis. So from above downward, there are on either side there are the parietal bones. Okay, then below the squamous part of the occipital bone, and somewhere laterally there is the mastoid part of the temporal bone. You can see this is the mastoid part of the temporal bone. Fine. So you see the parietal bone. We have already seen the parietal foramina, the sagittal suture, and the sagittal suture is continuing bifurcating in the form of the lambdoid suture between the parieto-occipital suture or the lambdoid suture. And if you see, this lambdoid suture is running posterolaterally, and here it is splitting into two sutures. Okay, spreading over the mastoid bone, mastoid part of the temporal bone. So toward the parietal bone, it is known as the parieto-mastoid suture, and toward the downward or toward the occipital bone, it is known as the occipito-mastoid suture. Got it, guys? Okay. Then we can see here around the uh, parieto-mastoid suture, there is a foramen. So that is known as the mastoid foramen. Okay? So this mastoid foramen is transmitting the emissary vein communicating between the sigmoid sinus, because there is a sigmoid sulcus in the inner area of this, and communicating with the suboccipital plexus of the vein around that. So this mastoid foramen should not be confused with the stylomastoid foramen, because stylomastoid foramen can only be seen in the norma basalis. You can see here medial to the mastoid bone, that is between the mastoid process and the so mastoid process, and between here styloid process there is the stylomastoid foramen, because it is present between the styloid process and the mastoid process, therefore it is known as the stylomastoid foramen. So don't confuse the stylomastoid foramen with this mastoid foramen. Got it? Okay, so what are the other features we can see here? Okay, so meeting point of the sagittal and the lambdoid suture is known as the lambda. This is the point of the posterior fontanelle, region of the posterior fontanelle. Likewise, on the norma verticalis, this is the bregma. Okay, the meeting point of the sagittal suture and the coronal suture. This is the bregma, and this is the region of the anterior fontanelle of the fetal skull. So on again here we can see on the posterior view on the occipital bone, there is the external occipital protuberance. Yes, and laterally running is superior knuckle line, and occasionally there may be the upper line, that is known as the highest knuckle line. If it is not present, then only superior knuckle line it will be termed. Then running downward from the external occipital protuberance, there is the external occipital crest, which is running from here up to the posterior margin of the foramen magnum. Okay, on either side from the halfway of the external occipital crest, there will be the other line is running, that is known as the inferior knuckle line. अगर ये superior knuckle line है, so this is the inferior knuckle line. Got it? So like that, this area is divided into the upper and the lower region by the inferior knuckle line between the superior knuckle line and the posterior margin of the foramen magnum. This is the foramen magnum. You can see this is the foramen magnum, right? This foramen magnum, which is having the posterior margin, anterior margin. The posterior margin is here in the norma occipitalis. You can see. So there is the attachment on the superior knuckle line, the attachment of the occipital belly or the fronto-occipitalis muscle. If there is the presence of the highest knuckle line, then it will give attachment to the occipital belly. Otherwise, it will attach to the superior knuckle line. Okay, there are the other muscles below the superior knuckle line in this area, which is giving attachment to the muscles forming the boundaries and the roof of the suboccipital triangle. The superior knuckle line on its medial aspect, it is giving attachment to the trapezius muscle, and on the lateral aspect or lateral one third, it is giving the attachment to the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Okay, and semispinalis capitis and splenius capitis are attached below that. And this external occipital crest is giving attachment to the upper border of the ligament. The name is ligamentum nuchae. So this ligamentum nuchae is dividing the posterior aspect of the neck into two halves, right and the left half. Yeah. And that is also giving attachment. That ligamentum nuchae is also giving attachment to the trapezius muscle. So that is triangular in somehow triangular in shape. So you can say it is inverted triangle. So base is attached to here. The base of the ligamentum nuchae is attached to this external occipital crest. Got it, guys? Okay. And it is not present here, but there is some extra ossification center is coming around the lambdoid suture, mainly extra bone. Okay, you see the suture-like structure enclosing the separate part of the occipital bone. So those bones are known as the Wormian bone. They are mainly found along this occipital bone, and sometimes it can be also found other area of the skull, like around the sagittal suture or coronal suture, but mostly it is present around the lambdoid suture. That is known as the Wormian bone. Got it? So this was about the norma occipitalis. Thank you.